Welcome everyone to Simply Bitcoin. We break down the news from Twitter, the daily fail, a meme review, software releases, hardware releases, websites by plebes or plebs. We're going to the numbers. Let's do it, people. Number time, Nico.
Number time.
Need my number time. At the time of this recording, the block height is 700,992. The Bitcoin price, 47,090. Chain rewrite days, 847. Total public lightning capacity, 2,548.60 sats per dollar, 2,124. And blocks to the halving, 139,008.
That's not so interesting. It's a good day to stack. That's what I have to say. That's what I have to say about that. It's a good day to stack. Not much going on. So
I actually just stacked the dip right before we started recording. Oof. Because we what was it? So we're back at 47, but we went down all the way into like the 46 something. So that was nice.
So listen, guys, and if you ever hear us saying we stacked the dip, you got to pause the video and stack. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Pause the video right now. Stack some sats right now. Buy yourself some freedom money. But anyways, the numbers really aren't that interesting. It's just kind of a copy of yesterday. But guys, let us know if you liked our lightning sound down below in the comments. It was really, really, really cool to do. That was really, really fun. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
the daily fail. All right. Shout out to Mr. Robot. He's joined us on the show before, and he tagged us in this. Look at what we have here. And this is actually a tweet from None Ya Business. And for the people who don't know who that is, right? He does the Bitcoin and podcast. Super great, toxic Bitcoiner.
Yes. Always
on the ball, like None Ya Business, like great pleb. Anyways.
But check out his pronouns. We have to call him sire.
Oh, I apologize. Thee, thou, sire, my lord, my liege. So, my liege, None Ya Business.
Yep.
Okay? Yeah, good dude. Anyways, this fail's not about him. He's a good dude. You know?
He is a good
but
dude.
He had a very interesting story, right? That he prefaced with, whoopsies.
Oh, and shout out to Mr. Robot, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, you're the man, dude. You're the man. Helped us so much on this show. Just want to give him a shout out.
Always giving us, tagging us and stuff. And not only that, but giving us great audio and visual advice. Like, anyways, super cool dude. People should follow him, right?
Definitely.
Fellow Bitcoiners.
Definitely.
Like to follow each other. And yeah, I do apologize. Like, I know there's Bitcoiners that follow me and that I don't follow back. But like, if you get pissed off or something, you can just send me a DM because I have all my notifications off. Otherwise, my phone would just die. And no, it's not because I'm popular. It's just because people like to dump on my shitty posts. Anyways, okay? Anyways.
I like your posts, Phil. I like your posts.
I appreciate that. But we are dumping on something else besides me today. We are dumping... Yeah, here we go. All right? $100 million crypto fraudster receives 7-year jail sentence. All right. So here we go. Stefan Kin also received a penalty of $55 million for defrauding over 100 people through his crypto hedge fund. Stefan Quinn, a 24-year-old Australian national, has been sentenced to 90 months in prison and a penalty of almost $55 million for defrauding over 100 people out of about $114 million. Kin started a hedge fund in his first year of college called Virgil Sigma Fund Limited back in 2017. The fund promised investors 500% returns through an algorithm Quinn called Tenjin, or Tenyin, however you want to pronounce it, which both of those could be wrong, which claimed to exploit arbitrage opportunities buying and selling cryptos across different exchanges. We went through all this in 2017. You guys could look up the term HYIP, or high yield investment products. You can look that up. This is total crap. They all have algorithms that promise you a certain amount of return, and anybody who can do simple math can quickly figure out that the numbers that they promise are just completely impossible for them to actually keep up with.
It's BitConnect.
Yeah, exactly. It's BitConnect under a different, in different clothing, right? Like this is made to look a little bit more prestigious, right? You know, it's a crypto hedge fund, you know, and he's promising these 500% returns. Look, anybody who promises you returns like that, they really, really can't. Like, you have got to be careful, you know? Anyways, in 1 year, Virgil had netted 23.5 million in assets under management, earning the fund a profile in the Wall Street Journal. By 2020, that number had increased to 90 million. So there you go, right? Wall Street Journal, you know, all these institutions that are always touted like they're, you know, don't get me wrong, they're all at fault, you know? They sit there and tout these things, but it all looks legitimate till it falls apart, right? By February 2020, Quinn had started a second fraudulent hedge fund, VQR, which pooled around 24 million in assets under management. He used investor capital stolen from Virgil Sigma to rent a penthouse in New York City and fund a lavish lifestyle. Huge shocker. He began investing substantial amounts of stolen money in illiquid investments outside the crypto market. So a lot of times when these people are starting to really scam hard and they can't stop themselves, the problem is that they have to make, or they feel that they have to make a lot of this money back, right? It's okay. Right, they're successful. They can make this back.
The standard Bernie Madoff, dude.
Yeah,
Bernie Madoff.
Exactly. Right. So they just start, you know, they essentially just start throwing whatever they can at the wall to see what sticks. He also used Virgil funds to splash out on various initial coin offerings that had nothing to do with arbitrage strategy he had touted. Of course not, because now he's spending all your money on his life. So there's no way, like, he's not making 500% returns for himself. There's not a chance he's coming up with the 500% returns for you. Anyways, everything came crashing down December 2020 as redemption requests started pouring in from Virgil investors. Quinn told his head trader at VQR to pack up its trading positions so that he could use the funds to satisfy the demands of Virgil clients.
Ponzi. It's Bernie Madoff, dude, but with crypto, I guess.
Right?
Oh,
Scams of this nature are not uncommon in crypto. Many fraudsters lure their victims with the bait of sophisticated trading algorithms and the promise of significant returns.
Stop right there, okay? Scams of this nature are not uncommon. It happens in the traditional legacy markets as well, okay?
Bingo.
Bernie Madoff, Stanford, like...
You see what they did there? Right? You see what they, like, and... It's all intentional, right? It's all intentional to create the relationships. Now, don't get me wrong. We don't give a shit about crypto, right? But we understand that the general normies associate Bitcoin with crypto. So this is why it's a problem, because it's disingenuous.
Yep.
And you're absolutely right. They should have just put the period right after uncommon. Anyways. All right. In July this year, mother-son duo Joy and Brent Kovar came up against the SEC after defrauding 277 investors out of 12 million by promising fixed annual returns of 20 to 30% through a supercomputer. There's wisdom in the old adage, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. And that's how we end this, right? And that is absolutely true, okay? Bitcoin is not too good to be true. It is not, okay? Once you start going down the rabbit hole and you start doing the research and you start stacking sats, it's not as simple as it is to just sit there and throw all your money into shit coins and hope for the best and all this stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, that's a different type of stress, but you know, they're the ones promising you these massive returns. Bitcoin isn't promising you that, you know, it's going to sit there and make you a billionaire. What it is promising you, or I shouldn't even say promising you, but what it is enforcing, right, is that it's holding on to its value. It's not being deflated. It isn't being censored. It is absolutely true in the properties that it offers. Whereas these shitcoin casinos and these people that do these high yield investment products, they are not true in what they're offering. Their math doesn't work out. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. And people really get screwed, you know, like, because you'll go and you'll put $200 in or $500 in. And a month later, you'll be like, hey, wait a second, you know, like, I've got, you know, $2,200 now all of a sudden. And don't get me wrong, even though you are completely aware that the math makes no sense, you are going to go and you're going to unfortunately add like another $1,000 or or another $2,000, because immediately you're going to calculate they're giving this to me, so if I go and put double, well, then I'm going to go and earn double. And then one day, right before the day you think you're going to pack it all in, that's it, I've made enough, you go to the website and its page cannot be displayed. And that's what you get. This is what they do. They're preying on our greed, and they're preying on our stupidity. Right?
No, absolutely, man. And look, guys, it's just, look, it's so easy, it's complicated, okay? All you have to do, okay, is put your money in Bitcoin. Bitcoin has an average return of 200% a year, year after year after year after year after year. Now, there's a catch with that, right? Does that mean if you put in $100, you're going to get, what's 200%, 300, Nico's bad at math, whatever? Are you going to 2 times your money, whatever it is, right? No. Why? Because of the volatility. But what I can tell you is that no one has ever lost a dime if you've held Bitcoin on for 4 years. And historically speaking, you actually 5 to 10x your investment if you hold on to Bitcoin for 4 years. But is it because it's a Ponzi? No, it's because there's a halving in the supply, right? Every 4 years, there's a supply shock, meaning there's the same amount of buyers trying to get their hands on Bitcoin, but the amount of Bitcoin being dumped on the market by the miners to pay their electricity bills gets cut in half, right? So what does that do? It causes a supply shock, and that makes the price go up. Okay, that's component number one. Component number two is Bitcoin has absolute scarcity. Nothing in the world has absolute scarcity, okay? We don't know how much gold is in the ground or floating in outer space, but I can tell you for a fact that there is only and will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. There's 47 million millionaires around the world, 47 million millionaires. If every single one of those millionaires wanted to own just one Bitcoin, they physically couldn't, right? This is why Bitcoin was the fastest asset to get to $1 trillion market cap without a sitting CEO, without employees, nothing. There's no central entity. And it got to $1 trillion market cap the fastest. And the reason for that is the incentives, the absolute scarcity, and the halving cycles. So again, are you going to risk yourself giving someone else your money? Or you could just put it in Bitcoin, have a long time preference, right? DCA, stay humble, stack sats like Odell says, and man, you're going to do fine. And I promise you, it's going to give you hope for a better future. But here's the caveat. It's actually extremely difficult to hold mentally. So you have to prepare yourself for that. And the way that I prepare myself for that, the way that Phil prepares himself for that, is we are not in this for the money. The money is, yes, it's awesome. It's cool that the number goes up, right? We are in this for the freedom. And only Bitcoin can provide that freedom. And all these Ponzi schemes, BitConnect, this one by, this Chinese individual, they're not going to give you that. They're not going to give you that freedom. They're just not, right? But anyways, Phil, thank you for that amazing journey. It's time for
the Daily Meme Review, sponsored by
Citadel 21. All right, guys, you know how it is. Sometimes we don't cover memes. Sometimes we cover pictures because it's just a historical moment and we try to cover everything on Simply Bitcoin, but it is also kind of a meme, right? There, checked out this statue of Satoshi that was unveiled in Hungary, right? And, a fellow plebe happened to put laser eyes on it. Super cool. What I like about this statue, though, is the anonymity, right? We are all Satoshi, but we are not all Satoshi at the same time. It's beautiful. Phil?
Craig is never Satoshi.
Yeah, except for Craig.
Yeah, Craig is never Satoshi. Like, there's never a dimension where he is Satoshi, so I'm just putting that in.
We're all Satoshi except for Craig.
That's right, except for Craig, right.
Okay,
he's never Satoshi ever.
So for this meme, right, I'm going to give it a very special score. And Phil, I don't know if you can handle this, but I printed the NFT from yesterday. It says right-click, ETH
What?
is a shitcoin, and Nico, let me give you guys some context, right? Let me pull it up. And, here is, attention, why isn't my punk on your wall? Well, it's right here in my hands, and I put it on my wall this morning, and here's a picture of him standing with it, so check this out, guys.
No way you did that. But it's his NFT.
I know, right? It's weird. It's weird. It's almost as if...
You have it if he has it, and they're... Uh-oh.
Is the Matrix breaking?
I think the Matrix just broke. Like, I don't even know what just happened.
I hope he watches this video.
No, he won't. He won't. But that's okay. Who cares? That's hilarious. Okay, so, man, that's a hell of a score. I can't even come close to topping that. Can't believe you printed a JPEG. How dare you?
I know. I'm a bad boy. I'm a bad boy.
Awful. You right clicker. Such a right clicker. Anyways,
right click.
I'm gonna give it. Okay. So you know what though, this is really cool because that statue kind of reminds me of the movie The Cloud Atlas. And at one point in the movie, right, where they show the future, all like everybody kind of like quote unquote worshiping this Sami with like a number. I don't remember what the number is, like person. So that's kind of interesting that we all of a sudden have this statue that's over there. That's similar but not the same. Anyways, I am giving it a spoon.
But Phil, there is no spoon.
I was just gonna say that. That's not fair. You said it. That's right. There is no spoon.
Oh,
so you took my line and you have a better score.
I'm sorry, Phil. Oh. I feel like I've betrayed you. I'm sorry. I apologize. Man. Okay. Well, awesome meme. Well, yeah, it's a meme because they added the laser eyes, but it also shows the historic statue that was yeah, it is a kind of a meme.
Good, it's good.
Hungary.
It's
Shout out to the Shout out to the people of Hungary, by the way. You know,
Yeah.
I want to see that in the U.S. You know, I want to see. You know what? Not in the U.S. I want to see that all over the world, man. Because Satoshi literally is liberating mankind, and he stayed anonymous. That is a freaking legend, my friend. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily News, sponsored by
Crypto Cloaks.
All right, guys. Listen. Remember how I told you yesterday, and I've been telling you for a very long time, that the central bankers are projecting when they talk about Bitcoin? You know, they say that Bitcoin is not transparent. They say it's used for illicit purposes. You know, they use all the different adjectives to try to stick, just to try to paint a narrative. Well, check this out, okay? Fed Chief Powell, other officials own securities central bank bought during COVID pandemic.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
So check this out. The people that are in charge of the money printing, right, to buy assets to prop up the zombie companies and to prop up the economy are also insider trading and buying those assets that they're using the monopoly money to buy to enrich themselves. But hey, it's the Bitcoiners that are not transparent.
Where's all the security for the retail investor? I mean, I keep hearing that all they're doing is helping the little guy just try to get a break. Right?
But wait, Phil. There's more. Check this out. This is the funniest part. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell has ordered a review of ethics rules for the central bank after an outcry over officials owning individual securities. Let me translate that. We are going to review ourselves and our own ethics for buying the securities that we use the monopoly money to buy.
Can I give another version of that as well?
Of course.
Okay. We're doing virtue theater to make it seem like we're actually trying to fix something we knew 100% was going on. But you see, they understand that nobody trusts the money. They understand that nobody trusts their stupidity anymore. For real, they understand that it's falling apart. So this, they think, is an ingenious way of making it seem like, look, we've got oversight. We're going to make sure somebody pays for this. And now some sap, gets picked, name out of a hat to pay the price. I'm sorry. Continue. This is so despicable and psychotic. I can't believe they think that we're this stupid. Continue.
CNBC found that Powell owned municipal bonds of the same type bought by the Fed during the COVID pandemic 2020.
Man, he knew to buy those?
So the guy in charge of pressing the P button, right, creating money out of thin air and then using that fake money to buy assets to prop the U.S. economy is also conveniently buying the assets that he's using the fake money to prop up. Oh, but it's not just him. 2 regional Fed presidents likewise owned assets of the same type the Fed was buying as the coronavirus threatened the U.S. economy. So it's not just Powell. It's all the other people in charge of pressing the P button. Just saying. Anyways, this is the funniest part. None of these holdings or transactions appear to violate the Fed's code of conduct. But what the fuck is this, dude?
I know, this is unbelievable. And they make fun of us, right? And they make fun of us for being unprofessional and being jokes and clowns. Like, look at this. This is insane, dude, this is nonsense insane, with people's lives.
I can't believe this, dude.
People's lives, man.
Dude. Anyways, okay. But they raise further questions about the Fed's conflict of interest policies and the oversight of central bank officials. But remember, the oversight is coming from themselves.
That is spy versus spy. Literally, you're pointing a gun at yourself in a mirror.
Remember when Christine...
There's only one side that's shooting. The other side isn't shooting back.
Remember when Christine Lagarde said Bitcoin funny business?
Highly speculative assets, which has conducted some funny business and some interesting and totally reprehensible money laundering activity.
Yes.
This is the goddamn funny business, and this is why I'm sticking to my original point. Central bankers are projecting. They are projecting everything they are accusing of Bitcoin doing, because Bitcoin is transparent, okay? Everyone has to spend the same amount of electricity as everybody else if you want to mine Bitcoin. Every single transaction is on a public ledger. It's a transparent system. That's how it works. Their system is not transparent, and if it wasn't for the reporting of CNBC, no one would have been the wiser that these people had insider information because they are the money printers, and they're using that information to enrich themselves. And these are the mother effers that are in charge of the money. This is why Bitcoin. This is why we Bitcoin. Anyways.
Oh yeah, dude, we can't even get through this article. All I want to do is shit on it.
Powell held between $1.25 million and $2.5 million of municipal bonds and family trusts over which he said to have no control. Here's the kicker, because I know how trusts work, okay?
He's got no control, Nico.
I know how trust works. Trusts are a very convenient way for rich people to shelter their money, right?
Of course.
Because what you do is you outsource that trust to another individual, right? But it still technically belongs to you.
You could still tell them what to buy.
Exactly.
I mean, this is so stupid. They think everybody's dumb.
They were just a small portion of his total reported asset.
Oh, that makes it better.
1.2. Okay, so to add that, Nico can't do math. That's around $3.7 million. Is that really a small fortune to the average American?
Nico, it's tiny. It makes it okay. If you just do a little bit of scam, it's better than a lot of scam, right? No?
Dude, I'm just so angry. Okay.
I know, this is psychotic.
While the bonds were purchased before 2019, they were held while the Fed last year bought more than $5 billion in munis, including one from the state of Illinois, purchased by his family trust in 2016. What the Okay. Look at the word jargon there. Okay, just look at it for a second. they bought it before, so it's okay.
Last year, but within.
But with the money that they printed, they allocated that money into the municipal bonds of which he already owned. How does that make it any better?
It doesn't. It's specifically there. Okay, it's specifically there to be filler. That's what it's there for. It's just filler noise. I mean, this is the most ridiculous, psychotic thing I've ever seen. Like, this is their move. This is their move to try to start saving face. Is that they're going to pretend that they are going to pretend to police themselves. Anyways.
Boston President Eric Roger, I'm literally about to blow a gasket.
Yeah.
Held between $151,000 and $800,000 worth of real estate investment trusts that owned mortgage-backed securities. He made as many as 37 separate trades in the 4 REITs, while the Fed purchased almost $700 billion in MBS.
Those are real estate investment trusts, by the way. Rates? That's what rates are.
So, hey, conveniently, right, it's just a coincidence, right, that he happened to invest in mortgage-backed securities, and then the Fed purchased mortgage-backed securities.
No way.
Remember what I told you about central bankers being shitcoiners?
Dude.
They're literally pumping their own bags and dumping it on the public. That's literally what they're doing.
It's a circle jerk, and we're not invited.
Richmond Fed president, it's all three, it's all of them, held $1.35 million to $3 million in individual corporate bonds purchased before 2020. They include bonds of Pepsi, Home Depot, and Eli Lilly. The Fed last year opened a corporate bond buying facility and purchased $46.5 billion of corporate bonds. So they print. So. They
essentially, they're like playing hot potato.
So they buy this stuff. That's the way out, right? That's because it's okay. Since they buy it before the money printer, right? They just coincidentally happen to allocate the money that they printed into the things that they own to pump their own bags. It's okay.
Wait,
I don't know how this is not all over the news, okay? Every time they talk shit about Bitcoin, I want you to remember this goddamn article. Central bankers are no better than shitcoiners. They are exactly the same. This is a pump and dump. They're creating a token out of thin air. They're dumping that token on everybody else, and they're using that fucking token to buy Bitcoin, essentially. Or like I'm trying to make an analogy here, Phil, because that's essentially what they're doing. They're pumping their own bags with the fake monopoly money on which they print. This is a corrupt system, and the reason this is possible is because of centralization. And what I keep telling you, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And this is exactly what you're seeing. This is what Bitcoiners have been screaming off of rooftops for the last 10 years.
I just can't believe that you're suggesting that they knew they were going to print all this money. I mean, I can't believe that.
This is fucking crazy. I've never been so shocked. Dude, we've been doing this for a year and change now, and like, this is the most ridiculous clown world article I've ever read, dude. The infrastructure bill, you have all these senators saying all this stuff about Bitcoin and how it's like, who the fuck are these people, man?
It's insane. It's absolutely nuts.
They're using the printed money to literally buy the stuff in which they own, so that they enrich themselves, man. And they blame us.
You know what the sad thing is? The real sad thing, okay? This is the truth. There's going to be a majority of people that read this article, and they're going to sit there and think, well, look at that. They're really looking out for our best interests. Look, they're going to police themselves now that they've realized they've made a mistake. Like, that's not what's happening at all. That's just what they want you to think. I'm telling you, this is theater. This is all theater because they know that there's a huge loss in confidence. And the thing is that fiat money thrives on that confidence, that illusion.
Yeah, dude, that's literally what fiat is. It's the full faith in the U.S. government. That's literally what fiat money is backed by. It's backed by the full faith of the U.S. government, which means shit, really, because all they do is fucking lie to us. Anyways, to kind of close this out, the Fed's own code of conduct says officials should be careful to avoid any dealings or other contact that might convey even an appearance of conflict between their personal interests and the interests of the system and the public interest. Okay, it's a code of conduct, it's words, but they don't give a shit. The only reason they gave a shit is because they got caught. Check this out. In response to CNBC's question, asked in the process of our research, a Fed spokesman released a statement Thursday saying Powell ordered a review last week of the Fed's ethic rules surrounding permissible financial holdings and activities by senior officials. So they're going to investigate themselves, basically. No oversight, nothing. They're
not investigating anything.
Code of conduct what? What is this code of conduct, dude?
They're not investigating anything. And you know what? Actually, I just want to give a shout out, right? We have two viewers that both, pointed out these articles as fails, but it was definitely newsworthy as well. Sai and Mike Oshie, so we appreciate that. But this is, to go back to this is what I'm telling you. It's all theater. It's all being done to make it seem as though they are taking charge and they are in control and they are doing what's right for the people, when it couldn't be further from the truth. Okay? This is all just theater. It's the same type of shit that we saw with the 2008 mortgage meltdown, right? We saw a whole bunch of like a whole bunch of people testifying and stuff like that, and I totally forget their names, like Larry Fink, I think, and didn't mean to make that rhyme. Like stuff like that, people like him, and you know what? None of these people, what did they get? They got slaps on the wrist. It's just the cost of doing business. And then look at what happened. The taxpayers simply bailed them out. Right?
No bankers went to jail for what they did in 2008. And they were bailed out by Main Street. And this is exactly why Bitcoin was created. It literally says it in the Genesis block. Chancellor on the second bailout for banks, because Satoshi knew they were going to do this again. And guess what, guys? Here we are in 2021. And not only did they do it again, they're doing it to such a magnitude, it's like a goddamn hockey stick going up. If this doesn't piss you off, I don't know what will. This is so much injustice. It is rules for thee, but not for me. This is what this is. They blame us. They call us the criminals. They call us the shadowy supercoders. What is more shadowy than the Fed literally using the money that they printed to buy the assets that they own? And the only reason this was uncovered was because CNBC actually did their goddamn job. If it wasn't for them, this would have never been uncovered. And you call us lack of transparency? I could tell you exactly which, literally it shows you the block that's been mined by this mining pool. You could tell you, it just shows you a pie chart of the mining pools in general. You could see every single transaction that has ever happened in the history of Bitcoin. It's a public ledger. Projection. They're projecting. And they must be destroyed, and Bitcoin is going to do exactly that. Not because we say so, but because it provides better incentives, and under the Bitcoin standard, everyone wins. Under the fiat standard, only the few elite at the top benefit. Anyways, Phil, there was a software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. All right, everyone, we've got BTC Pay version 1.2.3. I like that, 1.2.3. Anyways, BTC Payserver, if you're a merchant, right? It allows you to accept Bitcoin and Lightning payments. Check it out down below in the show notes. And of course, it is something you can host yourself. Okay? So, a sovereign app.
Absolutely. It's open source. You can customize it. Really cool stuff. One of the best projects in the space, to be honest with you. Because before that, there was no good solution. So shout out to those guys. Definitely amazing stuff. But guys, that was our Saturday show. Whew. That article still has me riled up. If you enjoyed the episode, you know what to do, guys. Smash that like button. And of course, if you want to continue hearing the catastrophic fails from the fucking central bankers and the Bitcoin news from the pleb perspective, definitely consider subscribing, and we will see you Monday, guys, for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.
Don't let the clowns fool you. They can't police themselves.
I'm so angry.
Yeah.